My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello once again and welcome back to the Rimworld. We're just starting where we left off in the previous episode with the trade caravan now departing the map after a successful visit and a successful trade. Hopefully they'll make it off the map without too much incident. It doesn't look like any of the junglisks are making a beeline for them, so we'll hopefully see them depart safely, which won't impact our relations with their faction negatively due to any deaths. Now back within our home base, we've got the weapons that we purchased from the trade caravan. We're just outfitting some of our colonists with those now, and then we'll see what today holds in store. Obviously it can be quite difficult to plan on the Rimworld because of the storytellers can either help or hinder you, and the best laid plans of mice and men can soon fall apart. So as it stands then, Python and Leslie do a little bit of mining, a bit of excavating on the corridor that we've started work on. Obviously all these chunks here, they do need to be removed into our little stockpile zone to the north of the base. And hopefully soon we'll be able to excavate this room here, which as discussed is going to form our new kitchen area. And then we can start work on some plumbing. So we'll just leave it as it is for now and allow our colonists to go about their business. And we'll pick it up, hopefully, when we have something of interest to note. Okay, so just we're back with it now and just had an idea. And it's I think it's going to be a worthwhile idea. What I'm going to do is, rather than keeping all the meals in our stockpile area there, which at some point does need to be addressed and sorted out, I'm going to put a little shelving unit down in our dining room, or in our main room, rec room, dining room, research room, whatever you want to call it. I believe at the moment it's classed as a laboratory. So yes, we're going to have a shelf unit placed here, and that's going to be a stockpile zone for our meals. It's going to save a bit of time because our colonists aren't going to have to wander as far to grab themselves a meal. So that's going to improve efficiency ever so slightly. Obviously in the meantime, you've noticed we have a plant cutter needing help. The hawk Lax, or Laxe, wants to visit us for 22 days, during which time she will not do any work. She does require quality accommodation, which I don't know if we're in a position to offer. In terms of the 3 potential rewards, there's an increase in goodwill, which is not of any major concern to me. Advanced components are always useful, but they're of negligible use for us right now. Don't put guns on the shelf. Let's just quickly sort that out. If we clear all, we don't want rotten. We want meals only on that shelf, please. Python, if you could address that for me. Yes, the quest. Yeah, advanced components are of little use for us right now, but long term they are quite useful. The side trainer and a decorative plant pot could be quite useful. But overall, I just don't think we're in any sort of position to offer the suitable accommodation that Hawk would be looking for, so we'll just disregard that quest. In the meantime, a bit of harvesting is taking place. Obviously, we're still in this volcanic winter. It's lasted for 2.1 days at the moment. Hopefully it won't last for too much longer, but as it said in the notification, when the volcanic winter struck, it can last for several months. So I guess it all depends how lucky we are and how generous Randy Random is feeling as to how long it's actually going to last for. The research continues at a decent pace. At the moment we are going down the smithing route. The corridor has now been completely excavated. It does need a clean. Obviously there's all this rock rubble lying around which needs removing hopefully soon, once one of our colonists doesn't have anything better to do. So now what we can do is actually order up the mining task for the room that is going to form our kitchen. And then Python and Leslie will take care of that as and when they deem it necessary. Obviously mining for them is quite a high priority, so it wouldn't take too long. So as you can see, oh my god, What, Garcia, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you coming out here for? Are you coming out here for... Oh, it's an excellent... No, don't do it. Get back. How far off safety are you? You're pretty safe. These junglists might be the one targeting her, but we can get her back inside pretty quick. There we go. Let's disallow use of that door, shall we? Jesus, that was a... That scared me. I didn't expect that to happen. There was a comment, actually, a decent suggestion made on one, I think it was the previous episode or the one before, and that's to have little stockpile zones near these little walled areas. So should there be any damage, then we would be in a position where we can repair them without having to haul the steel and the raw materials quite so far. So that might be something to set up in the future. For now, I think it's okay as it is, but it is something once you start getting stronger raids that is probably worth looking into. We've had a transport pod crash, as we can see. Oleg, who's from our enemy god rig. He's not going to last very long, as we can see a swarm of spiders has immediately descended upon him, and he's going to serve as a nice meal for those. And there he goes, he did not last long at all. And the horde of spiders is threateningly close to our base now. Looking a little further around as to where we might want to expand the safe area to next time. Obviously here would be an ideal place to have a wall. Here's another decent natural choke point. And then we'd have to wall... I think we'd go across... Is that mud? And that's rich soil. We could come down here and here. Wall off this cave entrance here. Wall off here. Up here. And across there, and that would open a big chunk of the map to our colonists. The rich soil would obviously be very, very useful if we don't have any rich soil. Oh, there's a bit more there, which would also be useful. I don't know if we have any rich soil in our current safe areas. I haven't know. Oh, we've got some there. So yes, for farming, that could be quite useful, obviously. But for now, we'll leave it as is. As we saw with the trade caravan, it is possible for visitors to the map to successfully make it to safety as it stands. It's not a great distance. I mean, they tend to spawn in down here from what I've noticed. So it's not the world's longest distance. At least some of them should be able to make it. Alright, James, as he did in the last episode, is suggesting a binge party. That's something we don't want them to be doing. So we'll draft all the colonists, which, as you can see there, calls off the binge party. Don't want to waste the food unnecessarily, although we are doing pretty good for food. Our farm areas are quite large now. We've got a decent stockpile of rice available, and we have 17 ready meals to go. Back in the kitchen, work is almost completed, just the 5 squares or the 5 cells still to mine out. And then we can start furnishing that. James has advanced to level 11 in plants, which is great. So any moment now, there we go. We can start kitting out our little kitchen area. So the first thing we want is a door. Do we have any wood available? No, we do not. So before we do anything else in terms of kitting it out, let's get a big harvesting order set up to get as many trees and as much wood as possible, to augment our stockpile, which is currently empty. Something else that was mentioned in one of the comments is that it is possible through your bills to set up bulk production of food, as you can see here, times 4, times 4, times 4. I am aware of that, however at the moment I'm holding off of doing that simply because I've noticed that when you do times 4, very often the colonists will start meal production when your fuel is low or it's not enough to do the full bulk order. So the fuel will expire, the work will stop, and the progress will be lost. And times 4 meals is a lot longer to prepare than single meals. Obviously it's 4 times as long. And it can be very frustrating when you almost finish an order only for it to be reset because you run out of fuel in the stove. Obviously, once we get an electric stove, and we have a reliable source of electricity, then we'll look at changing this to 4 times bulk orders rather than the single meals that they're preparing at the moment. So just wanted to make mention and reference to that. It is something I am aware of, and that's the reason why it's not being instigated at this point in time. Okay, so the wood stockpiles are being attended to. As you can see, we've got a lot of wood currently chopped down ready for hauling, which is fantastic. In fact, what we'll do, if we just zoom out a bit further to make sure we do catch it all, we'll haul urgently. That's 340 units of wood. With that, we're obviously going to create a wooden door into the kitchen. I think we'll put down a floor in the kitchen as well to keep it decent in terms of its beauty rating. So we'll have that there like so. Once that's done, we'll move down the stove. The butcher's table will go in a separate room, which I'll in fact plan out now. And we'll just do it as a plan for the time being. So there will be the entrance. That's where the door will sit. And the butcher's table will go in this little room here. That keeps it away from our food preparation area, the stoves and whatnot, which will help limit the risk of food poisoning, because preparing meals next to the butcher's table can have a negative effect and can dramatically increase the risk of food poisoning. But enough about that, we've now finished the smithing research, so let's decide what's up next. So we're still... Where are we? Here we go. So 72% done for Neolithic, that's fine. Only done 15% in the medieval. So things like electronics, I think they're... Yes, there we go. Look, electricity is unlocked in the industrial era, so still some way off unlocking that. So what's a decent thing to go for next? Let's have a look through. I think we'll go for the longbow, which then unlocks the crossbow, which can be quite useful to have. All our colonists at the moment do have firearms, but it would be nice to create our own weaponry, even if it's only something that we sell on to passing trade caravans for a steady source of income. So that's what we're going for next, and that's the logic behind that move. The kitchen floor is almost finished, as we can see. A few other things we're going to need are a few torch lamps in the area, just to offset the risk of any infestations spawning in and keep everything nicely lit for our colonists. And now we can think about moving down our stove. So let's reinstall this. Okay, so it's 3 cells wide, so there's a decent place to put it. That fits in quite snugly. We can also build a kitchen sink cabinet, and we will put that there. That should be close enough to link to the stove once it's installed. 2 other things we're going to want in here are little stools or chairs for our people to sit upon when they're working away. It'll increase their mood and their comfort. So let's go ahead and get that. Eventually we're going to want armchairs for the comfort rating once this cloth starts to mature and ripen. But for now, let's just go for some simple square chairs. 1 there and 1 there. When the sink is... There we go, we've got food poisoning. When the sink is installed, we'll then turn our attention to the plumbing and get all that set up, and we should be able to get that done in this episode. So we'll let them finish equipping the kitchen as it is, and then we'll turn our attention to the plumbing situation. Okay, so the kitchen as it stands is now ready. So as discussed, the next thing we want to turn our attention to is plumbing and having a source of water for the kitchen sink cabinet. As we see, that does provide a 10% work speed factor to the stove, which is really, really beneficial. So yes, for the plumbing then, we want to go to hygiene. What we want is a water well. This accesses the groundwater, which can be pumped via water pumps. So our water well, I think we'll have it up in this corner here. 50 steel to construct that. I do believe we have enough on hand. Yes, we do. So that's got a decent enough capacity, although if we put it there, it's a little better. In fact, here we go. We'll put it there. Had a little social fight there with James and Leslie. So they're now going to tend to their own wounds, and that's where the herbal medicine that we've been growing comes in handy. Look at the quality on the treatments here, much better than before. We have a raid. Did it say they're attacking immediately? Well, I don't think it really matters, because I don't think they're going to be able to get to us in time. There are two of them. One's armed with a steel iqua, the other with a short bow. However, as we can see, it's not going to do them much good. Oh no, they didn't take one down. There we go. That's the raid taken care of. It is nice having the spiders around from time to time. They do come in handy, as we can see right there. Let's get some of this blood cleaned up from our base, shall we? Things are looking a bit trashy at the moment. It would be nice to just spruce the place up a little. There we go. Still more to do, I know that, but it's better than nothing. Especially the blood around the dining table. Nobody wants that. Labour outsourcing quest. 1 colonist to leave for 6 days. Could we spare anybody? I think we probably could. Glitterworld medicine times 5. That could be very, very useful. Who would we spare? I'm thinking we would spare Leslie. Does it say what they are required for? No, it does not help. I think we can spare Leslie for 6 days, and I think we'll go for the Glitterworld medicine. That could come in really, really handy in the event of any infections and the like. So wait for the shuttle to arrive, and then we'll send Leslie on her little secondment. Here's the shuttle. Where's it landing? Of course it's landing outside the safe zone. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get her there safely. We could dig through and send her through, but these spiders are very, very close, and obviously they do have a ranged attack with their poisoned webs. Damn. Okay, let's now get rid of that quest. Is there any way to send it on its way? No, there's not. Oh well. Back to the water issue. So we have our well. Now we need a pump. So here's the wind pump. How are we doing on resources? 68 units of steel. The water requires 25. Oh, we could have one out of slate. Yes, we'll do slate. That uses some of that up nicely. And we'll pop that. Well, we'll put it there, and it's relatively close without it being impeded by the mountain or by any of the trees and the like. So that's where that's going to go. Then we're going to link it up to a... Is it a water butt? Yes it is. And we'll have a steel water butt. And that can be kept just outside the base there. Why not? Then we're going to need to put some pipes in to connect all these together, which is fine. We'll do that a little bit later, but we might need some more steel to do that. So let's set some of this steel here to be mined out, just to top up our reserves to make sure we have plenty. The other thing we're going to want to have installed is a log boiler and a hot water tank. That way we can have both hot and cold water available for our colonists. We'll get all this finished and linked together first of all, make sure it's working as it should. So what we're going to need are some plumbing pipes to connect to there and then into there, and I think that will work. Obviously we'll find out once it's been properly installed. Python's working away on the slate wind pump. Quite a hefty construction work this, so could take a little while to be completed. Garcia's food poisoning is still at moderate, so At least it's no longer severe or extreme, so that should be no longer an issue in the near future. Leslie's fully healed. We've had a transport pod crash. This is a planetary miner named Eugenia. It looks like she's where's she going to crash? Off the map, apparently. She may join if she's lucky enough to land somewhere safe. Let's just see where she's coming in, shall we? Ah, she has landed in a safe location. Okay. Ooh, nice mining skill. Nice cooking skill. And you've got a passion for medical as well, and shooting. You've got Campbell's disease. I'm not sure what that is. You've also got an artery blockage, which is never good. Okay, who's our best physician as is? Python, you've got a medical skill of 2.4. Leslie, 6.1. James, 5.1. Garcia, 4.1. So Leslie it is. If you could stabilize Eugenia for me. She may not join. I assume it's a she. Yes, it is. Female human. Yes, she might not join. But if nothing else, it's going to boost our medical skill for Leslie, which is always useful. Okay, that's immediate issues dealt with. So what we'll do now, we'll put down a sleeping spot. We'll have it in here. It's better than nothing. Furniture, sleeping spot. Just there, please. This is for medical use. So, Leslie, before you wander off, if you could now rescue Eugenia. And we'll see if she does opt to join us. In terms of her biography, Undergrounder, that's obviously very, very good. Gourmand, she's obviously going to get hungry and she's going to be upset about the food. And she's also kind. Nothing too offensive there. The Undergrounder one is definitely quite useful considering we are mountain dwellers. So we'll see. If she does join us, excellent. If not, then so be it. Anyway, let's see. Yes, our... Oh, this only stores 100 litres. Perhaps I've selected the wrong storage vessel. Okay, Eugenia has gotten sick from the infection. The infection is in her left leg. Rightio. So before we piss about with our plumbing, let's tend to this, shall we? Leslie, you're our physician. Let's... Oh, you're set to use herbal medicine. Tend to Eugenia, please. Yes, you're going to use a medicine. There goes the shuttle. Ooh, that's a decent 10 quality. 49%. Let's just check here how it looks in terms of the infection progression. So it looks like the immunity is rising faster. Indeed it is. So hopefully she will survive this. But we will keep an eye on it over the next couple of hours just to verify that is the case. Yes, back to here. We are pumping at full capacity, although the storage isn't great. It's only 100 litres. I always thought you could store more than that. Perhaps I'm looking at the wrong thing here. It's very possible. Ah, water tower. That's what I wanted. Right. So let's construct a water tower. We need 75 steel. We do have enough with everything that's lying around. And we'll put the water tower... We'll put it off this way. Say, just there. We want steel plumbing from the water tower up to there. And we'll just wait for that all to be fully constructed. Let's just check Eugenia's infection here. Yes, the immunity is outpacing the rising infection, which is great. So we've got a trade caravan also arriving on map. Let's just see how these fare. Although it is... Yes, it's nighttime. Although is that Cobra coming for them? No, it's hunting a pig. So they should be able to safely make it within the walled area. We'll allow use of that so they can actually make it through. What are you hunting? You're hunting... Oh, you're hunting the pigs from the trade caravans. Okay, I think they should be able to deal with the anaconda. Yes, quite easily. And away they go. So we'll let them come through. Are they going to come through or are they going to hang about there? They're hanging about there. Well, what we could do is if we zone... is it in here? Where's the zone for the caravan area? Or is it in miscellaneous? I cannot remember. Perhaps miscellaneous. Here it is. Well, first of all, let's put our drop spot down. That could be quite useful to do. The drop spot can be there. And then the caravan hitching spot, well, that can go just outside the stockpile zone. And there should be one for the trade spot somewhere. I've probably gone past it several times. Okay, so I wasn't able to locate the trading spot. I thought there was one. Perhaps I was mistaken. So what we'll do, given that it's 3 in the morning and we have a bit of time, we'll send Garcia out to trade with Rhino. Hopefully we can get there and conduct any trade and business before the spiders awake. But we shall see. Okay, here they come. Oh no. Now it looks like we're okay. So Garcia cannot talk properly because of poor health, so this is going to give us a negative modifier to our trade ability. Is there anything you'd like to buy? The herbal medicine. Well, we're not going to sell that. We only have 3 silver, so there's nothing we can buy off them. And just looking at it, apart from the pemmican perhaps, there isn't much I'd want to buy off them anyway, so let's cancel the trade. Garcia, return back home, and then disallow use of the door once again. So here come the spiders now. Let carnage commence. To be fair to them, they are holding their own quite nicely against these spiders. Although one of them has died, as we can see. It looks like another one isn't long for the world. And now the caravan is leaving, which is understandable. It's a very hostile environment for them. Okay, how's this? Yes, that's better. So now we're storing plenty of water. This capacity is... I don't know. Anyway, it's a decent capacity. It's better than the water butt, which is not what I wanted to have installed. So what we can do now is we can pipe in this kitchen cabinet. And what we will do is we'll go to hygiene. We'll stick to steel plumbing. We've almost excavated the steel vein within our base. And we'll have this plumbed in sort of like so. There we go. We can also have a sewage... oh no, we can't really... We can't construct that there, can we? What an idiot. Eventually we'll probably reroute this so it goes through the walls. Or we could just put a little wall in there to hide the pipe. It doesn't stop any movement, it just looks... It looks bad. Yes, they can't reach these two here either, can they? So what we'll do is we'll quickly reroute this plumbing in that way. And then it should all be connected properly. Python, what are you doing? I think we have you prioritize working on the steel plumbing, please. Okay, you're off to sleep. Eugenia, how are you doing with your infection? You've developed an immunity, and you only got to 80-odd%, which is very, very good. Very reassuring. I've not noticed anything about whether she will join or depart once she's fully healed. Time will tell. It would, as I said, it would be nice to have her join, although it will mean we have to carve out a new bedroom for her. Luckily, she isn't jealous or anything, so we can take time doing that, and there's no real time constraints against us as there would be with a jealous colonist. We've run out of wood once again. It has been mentioned, how about setting up a tree farming zone? It's probably not a bad idea, actually. I think we'll have it... It's not the best soil to be farming, I'm aware of that, but we'll have it here. Dense jungle tree. Deep jungle tree, I should say. they'll grow there. In the meantime, we can't wait for those to grow, so let's go ahead and order up another wood chopping order down here. Any more across here? Oh, yes, in fact, you can go for those across the river. And I've just noticed we have fertile soil here as well, so that's something we're going to want to start using. Another transport pod is crashing. This is Flavius. He is from the Empire of the Spirit. Whereabouts are you dropping in? Unfortunately, in a position where you're going to get bushed by a load of angry junglisks. Although perhaps not. Oh no, here they go. I did then consider going to make a rescue for him until this jungleisk turned its attention to him. Eugenia can now walk once again, so let's see what her plans are in terms of long-term recruitment. James, could you please focus on harvesting the jungle trees for me? We need the wood. No, you're going to harvest. Oh no, you harvest two. Well, that's better than nothing. Garcia, you do a bit of cleaning up. The research can wait. And then I want you to refuel that torch lamp just to prevent the risk of any infestation spawning. So there is a small disease risk with this water tower, which is unfortunate, and we haven't treated it, and I don't think we're in a position to be able to treat it. I'm going to have to research that and figure out how it's done. Python, can you... Okay, you can't construct those. I guess it's because they're on corners. Well, what we could do is if we mine that out and mine down here, maybe. Let's see if that's going to enable you to access these areas to lay down the pipes. Another transport pod crash. And this, again, is outside of our safe zone. Would we want them? Probably. Oh well. But again, there's no immediate rush from the junglisks. Shall we go out there and rescue them? No. Python, can you now... So you can't construct that pipe there. Tell you what, let's do a pipe there and there. And cancel those two. Python, if you could work on these, please. Just to get the plumbing finished. There we go, cancel that. So that should now be plumbed in. Yes, it's no longer got the not plumbed in alert. Our toilet is also plumbed in. We could now pipe it out into a sewage outlet, perhaps down here somewhere out of the way where it's not going to infect our crops with disease and it stays away from our water source. But all that is for the future. And I think on that note, we'll end the episode here today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think we've made some decent progress. We've started our plumbing anyway. And we have a potential new colonist, although I may have missed the notification that they are going to leave. So time will tell on that front. So all that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.